Animals are awesome. Sometimes they can be jerks. But in general, they keep our households clean, our beds well made, and our houses secure. Well, maybe not, but sometimes they make up for it all by saving our lives.
Brilliant news!
Number 1. Hero Cat. Jeremy Triantafilo, an autistic boy from Bakersfield, California, was happily playing outside on his bike when he was approached by a dog and then viciously attacked. Luckily, the boy's cat, Tara, doesn't hesitate to spring into action, selflessly fighting off the dog. Jeremy was given 8 stitches, but if it hadn't been for Tara, could have had a lot more. There are no awards for heroic cats, but the local community was so impressed with Tara's selfless loyalty that the SPCALA awarded the adopted stray cat the title of National Hero Dog. Tara went on to throw out the first pitch at a baseball game, drop the puck at a Bakersfield Condors hockey match, and even has a day named after her in Kern County.
Wow!
Number 2. Buddy the dog. In 2010, Ben Heinrichs was repairing his truck when a spark ignited a pool of gasoline. Whilst Heinrichs managed to put out his burning clothes, sustaining minor burns, his workshop quickly became a blazing inferno and was threatening to engulf the Heinrichs home. Meanwhile, Terrence Shanigan, a local state trooper, became lost along the snowy back roads trying to find the residents when his GPS lost all signal. That's when Buddy sprang into action. Trooper Shanigan is an experienced dog sledder and quickly recognized that the dog wasn't running away from his car, if not leading him to the danger, much like Lassie the Wonder Dog. Shanigan was able to direct the fire department from there and save the Heinrichs home. Buddy, the pup of a police-trained German Shepherd, had saved his owner before whilst fishing, scaring off a bear. Ben Heinrichs then took Buddy around local schools to teach about fire safety. However, sadly, Buddy recently passed away from liver cancer. Number 3. Dolphins. Todd Endris was sat on his board enjoying the surf with his mates at Marina State Beach when suddenly he was hit by a 15-foot great white shark. The huge animal grabbed his torso in its mouth, propelling him backwards into the waves. All Endris could do was beat at the shark's eyes with his left fist, causing the animal to release him and then ensnare his leg with its razor-sharp teeth. As Endris began to give up the fight, a group of dolphins miraculously appeared, jumping over him and encircling him protectively, warding off the huge shark until a friend guided him to shore. Despite having lost 5 pints, Endris survived with 200 staples and 500 stitches. A miracle, he is convinced, all thanks to the group of protective dolphins. Number 4. Angel. 11-year-old Canadian boy Austin Foreman was gathering some firewood in his backyard whilst his dog Angel began acting strangely. She began to stay very close to Austin when suddenly a wild cougar sprang from the bushes and charged towards the boy. Angel instantly leapt in front of him, defending the young boy from the attacking feline. Austin ran inside and his mother had trouble calming him down before he was able to say, "A cougar is eating Angel." His mother called 911 and an officer found the two fighting animals underneath the deck and quickly killed the cougar. Angel appeared to be fatally injured, but then drew a big breath and got up on all fours. The hero dog survived the brutal attack, and Austin went out with his grandpa that evening and bought her a big steak. Number 5. Kelsey. One chilly New Year's Eve, Bob hurried outside of his Michigan home to grab a log for the fire in just his slippers and long johns. Unfortunately, he slipped in the snow and broke his neck, leaving him paralyzed, lying in the snow at 10:30 on a bitterly cold winter's night, a quarter of a mile away from the nearest neighbor. Bob began screaming for help, fearing he might freeze to death, lying in the snow in just his long johns. Luckily, his golden retriever Kelsey ran to his aid and lay on top of him, keeping him from suffering hypothermia through the night and licking his face, keeping him awake. After 19 hours, Bob finally passed out and Kelsey started howling, which eventually attracted the attention of one of Bob's neighbors. Remarkably, Bob didn't suffer from frostbite due to Kelsey keeping him warm and regained full mobility. Number 6. Skye. Frans van der Pol frequently ran spear diving trips on his boat and frequented Johns Creek Harbour in Australia, where an undernourished creek dog, or crog as the harbour workers called them, constantly crossed Fran's path. Unfortunately, Fran's wife Mary passed away, and the creek dog comforted Frans until he adopted her, naming her Skye, and the two became inseparable. So much so that Skye would even accompany him on his spearing trips, always watching from the boat. One day, whilst in the water near the boat, Frans found himself suddenly encircled by two sharks. With nowhere to run, he descended, while Skye, ever loyal to her new master, dove in to protect him from the two huge creatures. When Frans surfaced, he was devastated to find the three animals gone. If Skye had not sacrificed herself for Frans, the sharks surely would have attacked him instead. At the harbour, a commemorative plaque was made in Skye's name to remind all of the true meaning of loyalty. Number 7. NIDA. 4-year-old Karina Chikitova lived on the edge of the Siberian wilderness with her family and dog NIDA. One day, her father went off to the nearest village through the wilderness, and Karina and her trusty dog went with him. However, Karina's father did not know that Karina was following him, and she quickly became lost in the Siberian woods, full of bears and wolves. Meanwhile, Karina's mother thought that her husband was aware that the girl had gone with him. It was only after a phone call with him a few days later that they discovered she was with neither. A search party was quickly formed, braving the woods where they were even attacked by a bear. The family's hearts sank when NIDA returned 9 days later alone, without the little girl. But as the dog rushed off again, they quickly realized she was leading them back to Karina, who had only suffered mosquito bites and minor scratches. They had survived the cold nights huddled together, eaten berries and drank from streams. NIDA the puppy became a hero and even has a bronze statue in her honor. Number 8. Thor. Justin Island was working at Holly's Gas in Saco, Maine, when a man in a ski mask knocked on his office door asking to use the phone. Island was instantly suspicious of the ski mask, but it was cold out, so he told him he doesn't let people use his phone and hoped the man would be on his way. The masked man then barged in and pulled a gun on him, demanding money. Island quickly identified the gun as a BB gun, and his fear turned to anger. On being pushed a second time, his pet pit bull, Thor, who until now had been restrained behind Island, lunged at the attacker, biting through his mask and causing him to run off. Now Justin doesn't go anywhere without his trusty Thor. Number 9. Tony the cat. In Fairborn, Ohio, Robin Lawsons was asleep in her bed one night with her dog by her side when she was awoken by her cat Tony's meowing.
It wasn't a meow meow, it was just a consistent meow. I saw fire, one to my left, one around the room, thick smoke, and I heard him, and I couldn't figure out where he was. Watching your apartment burn, and you know that you've got a beloved animal you can't get to. Man, I heard that door go down, and I heard someone yelling, "They've got the cat! They got the cat!"
Tony was literally on fire when the firefighters found him, extinguishing his stomach and paws, and managed to resuscitate him.
You can lose everything, you can lose everything. And as long as you can walk away with the creatures that you love, then it's a success.
Number 10. Killian. The Jordan family were very much taken with their baby Finn. However, being both working parents, after 3 months they were forced to hire a babysitter. 22-year-old Alexis Khan had worked with children before, but after 5 months of looking after Finn, the family dog Killian began to growl at the sitter. The Jordans began to become suspicious of Alexis, as Killian became ever wary, even positioning himself defensively between the sitter and the infant. Finn's parents decided to hide an iPhone under the couch, recording the audio whilst they were at work, and were shocked to hear the babysitter shouting and swearing at the baby and horrific sounds of slapping and shaking. Cussing. Alexis was taken to court and sentenced to 3 years for assault and battery. Finn was checked out and was in perfect shape, but who knows what could have happened or how many children Alexis could have abused had it not been for Killian. Which of these life-saving animals surprised you the most? Comment below!